And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media, always providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate, and tax planning. We're going to talk about self-defense today, insurance on the show here as your number one consumer advocate, Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region's number one consumer advocate-based program right here based at Salem Communications, South Tampa. You can find us right here, 4 o'clock drive time daily on AM 860, The Answer, weekend show on FM 102.5 The Bone, and Sunday mornings. We also have Apple, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, and 85 other smart television outlets. So pull us up on your smart television device. Simply search Binge Networks, searching Binge Networks. And this segment is brought to you by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in your real estate negotiations. My wife and I own and operate the Platinum MVP team, and we want to help you buying, selling, or investing. We would love to talk to you, and you are in great hands when you work with us. We got a great team of 15 agents, buyer agents as well as listing agents, and we want to help you win in any marketplace. That's our goal. We got an intelligent lineup here, Intelligent Talk Radio. Back in studio, Doug Levi, Strategic Insurance. Welcome in, sir.
Good to be here. It's a heavy hand there saying intelligent lineup. I got a lot to live up to with that.
There you go. You got to deliver now.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
No, we're excited to be here. We're going to talk today about protecting your valuables. It'll tie in a little bit with our gun expert here, and also with contractors, what to do for business insurance for contractors.
Yeah, I love that.
Stuff for you.
Good stuff. Thomas King in the house as well, Florida Firearms Academy. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you for having me again, Brandon. We're going to talk today a little bit about what makes basically what the mainstream media doesn't like to talk about, and that's firearms protection and how shooting is an Olympic sport.
Yeah, exactly, and how you can defend your family, defend your assets, your home, utilizing those skills that you want to finely tune over at Florida Firearms Academy here in Tampa Bay. And making his debut to the Consumer Quarterback Show, Mr. Jim Howard, Trinity Security Allies. Welcome in.
Oh, thank you very much for having me. Yeah, we're a ministry that goes around the country and educates churches on how to protect themselves. So we have a big conference that's coming up November the 2nd where we're bringing in Ken Smith, was a director from Homeland Security, and also Julie Workman, who was a survivor from the Sutherland Springs shooting where 26 people died and 20 were injured. So we're really excited about this conference coming up.
That's great. Yeah. Thanks for bringing that in. That's good stuff. I like that. It goes right along with our theme, being that consumer advocate, helping people understand more about their buying decisions. And we don't care if you're climbing a corporate ladder or if you throw a ladder in your truck on the way to work. This show's for you. Save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need it. 813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372. Call or text that number. Any questions? It's an off-air line. Had a couple calls the other day. I'm not on the air right now. I went, no, you're not on the air. You can call or text that line. It's not an on-air number. So also our website, consumerqb.com. Check it out, consumerqb.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors, the finest folks in all of Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region of Florida that we've assembled, we've vetted, and we bring on the show to help you understand more about your buying decisions. And we're inviting you to our launch party as well. We're new to the AM 860, The Answer family here, so we've got a launch party coming up as well, open to all, and this is open to all of our listeners, business owners, networking. It's great for marketing, career opportunities, and we're going to have open bar, free food, and special guest speakers as well. And it's going to be a great time. We're filming the American Dream television show as well, another show that we're involved with, which is a national show. It also airs on CBS. And we're going to, you can meet our team. The whole team. Thomas is going to be there. It's going to be at Florida Firearms Academy, 13317 West Hillsborough Avenue in Tampa. And that's on October 10th at 6:30 p.m. on October 10th, 6:30. And it's presented by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, the Real Estate Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes, Feng Shui of Tampa Bay, and Florida Firearms Academy. And, thanks for opening that up to us, the beautiful facility over there, Thomas. We appreciate that.
Sounds good. It's going to be an amazing event, good time, and we usually have a lot of people show up. And, of course, you're going to have a lot of your listeners and people that are on your show for that.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of our show partners, our expert contributors, attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors, all types of home services, all types of folks are going to be there. So it's a great time. Come on out and join us on that, and it's going to be a great time. We'll look forward to seeing you.
Of knowledge.
That's right. Lots of the cumulative knowledge in that room.
Right.
It's a lot. Okay, so we got a hot property listing here. We feature our real estate listings live on air on our show. So we got some pretty cool opportunities here for you. 861 Mandalay Avenue, Clearwater Beach, gorgeous Clearwater Beach. This property is one of my favorite listings. You literally 200 steps and you are on the sugar sands of North Clearwater Beach, and you are living in a star-studded neighborhood as well. Hulk Hogan's in that neighborhood, the CEO of Spanx, the inventor of Spanx. Some pretty cool peeps in that area. Great opportunity to own real estate in one of the hottest real estate markets in the country. We're definitely a top 10 real estate market, and that breaks down into a lot of different areas. Also, 1645 Parker Point Boulevard in Odessa. This is a beautiful lake property that we've got in a lake community at 1645 Parker Point Boulevard in Odessa. Gated community, and you have access to a lake. So Odessa is one of the best kept secrets in all of Florida. Great opportunity to own real estate here in Tampa Bay. Check out all of our real estate listings at platinummvpteam.com.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet.
All right, Doug, there's so many geopolitical things going on right now and just things happening out there, but this show's different. It's all about helping the consumer understand how they can, save time and money, avoid commission-based advice. And I love it when you come on, you educate around property casualty insurance, auto, home, business. You've got a lot of options.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks again for having me back, Brandon. So today I wanted to mention protecting your valuables, right? So I want people out there to think about things like their jewelry, their guns, fine art, antiques, and some people have lots of these, right? Your homeowner's policy does not fully cover that. And, again, I joke the policy's not 100 pages long for everything that's covered, right? It's all the things that it's going to say, oh, this isn't covered, or there's an endorsement here. And I know a lot of that stuff drives people nuts. Trust me, it drives me nuts too as well. So we're just big on educating people. We want to explain to you how it works, kind of demystify insurance. People pay a lot of money for it. And so it's just important for people to know, if you've got more, here's a good benchmark. If you've got more than $2,500 worth of, again, jewelry, fine art, antiques, guns, those are probably the 4 big ones we see. You really need a separate policy to properly cover it, because the companies will limit you in regards to theft.
Yeah.
So if someone comes in and you're away from your home on vacation and they steal $10,000 worth of your guns, that's not going to be covered. Now,
nightmare.
Exactly, it is a nightmare. Now, if you were home, they probably would be in a whole world of hurt if they were trying to steal your guns.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, but so, and a lot of people just don't realize that. They don't think about that. And we've got clients that have, antique gun collections, or all kinds of neat things. Jewelry's another big one. Think about even your wife's wedding ring or engagement ring, things like that. If it were stolen, or even items like, here's a common one, if a stone fell out of a setting, right? This happens a lot. A stone falls out of a setting.
Yeah.
People will think, oh, that's covered by my homeowners. It's not. Not going to be covered by my homeowners.
Separate policy.
Yeah, so
needed.
really recommend separate policy, and they're normally pretty affordable. Like we've got some things on our policies, maybe $300-400 a year is normally going to get you a separate policy for your stuff, depending on how much you've got. And I'd say that's probably going to cover you maybe $10,000 to $15,000 worth of stuff. So just really, really important to understand that.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so many areas of homeowners insurance. Is it rising waters, or the wind caused the flood? Is it a bursting pipe? Actually, just spoke to a family member of mine, and he said he was denied a claim. I said, just kind of texting, hey, how's it going? Not good. I was denied. I had his air conditioning leak that caused mold. He didn't catch it in time, and the insurance company denied his claim.
It's a big one.
So there's so many caveats and things that you need to understand.
Yeah, and so we're big on protection reviews, right? So we're all about protection. Our mission at Strategic Insurance is helping families and businesses prepare, protect, and recover from life's unexpected events. That's why I'm here. I believe in serving our community. I believe we have a real tangible way to do that, because everybody needs it. It may not be something you want to pay or like, but it's important. You got to have it. So we're big on that, and always happy to review people's coverages and policies, and again, kind of demystify what you've got. Shoot straight with you, no pun intended. We always look for ways to save clients money, recommending higher deductibles, making sure you're maxing out every credit out there, whether it's wind mitigation or alarm. Again, another just quick one. There's a lot of people out there that maybe have a a home security system, and they're not getting a discount on their homeowners. Maybe they installed it after they bought their homeowners insurance, and they never thought to call their carrier.
Good point.
So there could be a couple $100, maybe $200-$300 on the table that the insurance company would give you back if you can prove that. So
wow.
Always happy to do those protection reviews and really kind of break it all down for clients.
Yeah, let's tee that up for our listeners out there. And by the way, one of the best URLs in the business here, TampaBayInsurance.com.
Support
if you
the
want to
Bay.
reach Doug Levi, TampaBayInsurance.com. So let's offer a review now. Let's talk a little bit more about what this review could do for them, because I think sometimes when you look at we just re-up. It's like, oh, let's just re-up, let's re-sign. It's that time of year. Okay, let's sign it. Doug and his team will offer to do a review. Can you explain the review, and then I'll do a text offer?
Absolutely, yeah. So we do a protection review. We do this for all of our clients, and once you're on board with us, we do it every year, and we've got some systems in place where we reach out to you automatically as you come up for renewal. But basically, just a chance to sit down with one of our advisors, go through your policy line by line, explain things to you. And look, if you're in a great spot and you're getting good service, we'll tell you that. We'll say, you know what, you're in a good spot. Don't make any changes. But if you're not, or we can uncover things, or we shop and can save you money, which a lot of times happens, we're definitely happy to do that. So it's big. Like you said, a lot of people just put it on autopilot and forget. And especially people out there, so many people escrow. So many people escrow, and they just don't really look at it again.
Exactly.
So if you're escrowed your homeowner's insurance and your taxes, definitely maybe something to get your eyes on and take us up on the review.
Perfect. Let's do that right now. So pull out your smartphone if you're not driving. Text review to 813-670-7372. Just simply text the word review to 813-670-7372. And we're going to put you in touch with Doug Levi and his team. He's going to hook you up. And, hey, you might have some money sitting there, ready to go. I'm sure you've had some success stories, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we save clients. We save clients money all the time.
Yeah.
Often we're able to do that, and we've got over 25 carriers we work with. We've got all the major markets. So, and always it feels great when you can help someone save money, and it's going to go back to them, their family, maybe a trip for them, or whatever it may be, or just groceries that week, right?
Yeah.
So it always feels good to help clients do that.
Yeah. Real quick on the auto side, get underinsured or uninsured motorists. That's one of the big ones too, right?
It's very big. Yeah. So the research says about 30% of all drivers have no insurance in our state at all, or they're underinsured, right?
Yeah.
So that's a pretty scary thing. That's like 1 in 3. And so, if you get hit by someone like that, they've got no insurance or they're underinsured, and you've got medical bills that are extended, pain and suffering, disability, the uninsured motorist would cover all of that.
Yeah.
And so, in fact, I've got a client right now, just real quick, who she was on her bicycle.
Yep.
So this is a real story. So client's on her bicycle, very active person. She gets hit by a truck.
Oh.
Guy has no insurance at all.
Oh, my goodness.
And so, what do you do? So her uninsured motorist policy is coming into play to help. She's got, vascular issues, leg issues. She's, thank God, okay, not, life-threatening, but nonetheless still serious and ongoing issues. And so the uninsured motorist, that pot of money in the policy will help take care of those things.
Awesome. Good stuff. Doug Levi, Strategic Insurance, and longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check him out, TampaBayInsurance.com. More from Doug coming up in our lightning round here coming up very soon. We also have Thomas King in the house, Florida Firearms Academy, and Jim Howard as well, Trinity Security Allies. And our feel-good story of the day is an interesting one. College football fans' beer sign raises more than $1 million for a children's hospital. Find out about that and more from our expert contributors right on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Thanks for listening to My Daddy's Show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by TrueLeaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in your real estate deals, negotiating the best possible deals. I'm actually a certified negotiation expert teaching at the GTAR and Pro board. So both the Realtor boards here in Tampa Bay, I teach branding and negotiation over there as well. And published author, professional speaker. Check out our book on Amazon, Become the MVP in Your Industry. My surfing the radio wave. So pretty cool stuff on Amazon there as well. We got a Tampa Build Expo coming up here in Tampa. So Florida's largest building and construction show is returning to the Tampa Convention Center on November 6th and 7th. And it's a huge show that features thousands of innovative products and services at show special pricing. You got live demos, over 25 industry-leading classes, including accredited sessions as well. And if you're a contractor, builder, architect, engineer, designer, property manager, anyone involved with the building and construction industry, you can't afford to miss this show. Secure great pricing and products and services you need. Stay up to date on industry trends and network with the thousands of key industry decision makers. The best part is that it's all free for industry pros. Sign up at buildexpousa.com. That's buildexpousa.com or 877-219-3976. Again, 877-219-3976. Build your business at Build Expo. We're going to be there. We got a double booth. Our real estate quarterback team's going to be there. The Keller Williams team. Real excited about that. We love going to those, and it's great. We can meet our, customers, listeners of the show, folks that we've done business with, or prospective clients. It's a great opportunity. So that's coming up just around the corner. Be here before you know it. Great show today. We've got Doug Levi in the house, Strategic Insurance, Thomas King, Florida Firearms Academy, and Jim Howard as well, Trinity Security Allies. And this segment is brought to you by our official restaurant partner. That's the Lucky Dill. It's a deli, New York City bar, Brooklyn bakery, catering and banquets, and it's home of the sandwich that 8 Brooklyn. Excellent food. 4606 West Boy Scout Boulevard in Tampa. Online at luckydilldeli.com. Check them out in Palm Harbor, too, over there closer to me. Is on US 19 in Palm Harbor. Excellent food. Very friendly wait staff. And we enjoy our time over there at the Lucky Dill. Hot property listing here in Tampa Bay, 5822 Schooner Way. This is one of my favorite listings, close to the water. We're on waterfront here. You get pool on a freshwater canal, boat dock, leads out to the bay. Highly desirable area of Bayport, town and country area there, and you can boat to dinner. You've got the all kinds of cool restaurants over there. Bahama Breeze, help me out there? The Whiskey Joe's, some of those places, Salty Pelican, Rusty Pelican, all those cool restaurants. 5822 Schooner Way in Tampa. Great opportunity. Check out all of our real estate listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.com. Somewhere sunny and 75. All right, Thomas King, Florida Firearms Academy in the house. A lot of, all the time, man. It's like the misnomers out there in the news. They always want to beat up on the gun industry. What's the latest drama?
Wow, where do you even start with that? It's always something new every day. Sometimes I get people that just call and go, "Hey, we hope you close down because guns are evil." And really? I mean, that's just the way the world is now today, because they've been brainwashed into thinking that firearms are the things that are out there.
I got the perfect button for that. It's a sheep.
It's the craziest thing, because it's an Olympic sport. It's a shooting thing. We've been doing it for I don't know how many centuries now, but we want to make sure that your kids are shooting safely, that they're understanding, they're reliable, responsible, and they honor the firearm, and they come out and they shoot with us all the time. I guarantee you these people will not go out there and do mass shootings. They're the ones that are going to respect it. But a couple of first things I want to talk about is a couple of events we had going on coming up pretty soon. Gears and Guns, that'll actually be November 9th, and that's from 12 to 3. This is we're going to have Unique rides. They sponsor it. They do basically all the local celebrity cars out here, the Buccaneers and all them. So that's going to be a huge car show for us. And then also we're going to have shooting packages for you. So all day pass is $10 to come out and shoot if you're putting your car in the show. And also we have Trinity here. We also do this year the 5th annual, right, Jim? This is the 5th annual turkey shoot at Florida Firearms Academy. We're giving away this firearm right here, and what we got a lot going on for that event, right?
Yes,
that's awesome.
And then one other thing that we're sponsoring, and this is for November or October the 12th at 7 p.m. These are our neighbors right here.
Yep.
And their Pride Gym right there. They're right next to us. And this is the young man that basically someone kicked in his front door. They two guys were wrestling with him. He was wrestling one of them on the ground. The other one shot him. So we're sponsoring and we're donating. If you have something that you can go ahead and give to them and donate for this cause, the money is going to the Gun Violence Survivor Foundation. So we want to make sure we do the right thing because there are crazy people out there with firearms. That's why we have them. And you know, the funniest thing that I heard today was that a lot of people are claiming in 12 years that our world is going to end, and you know, all this with the climate control and all this. I mean, we've been hearing this for I don't know how many decades now, but you know, if that's the case, if they really believe that, then why would you take away my firearm? That's like apocalyptic stuff right there. You're going to need your firearm for that kind of event, wouldn't you think? I mean, people go crazy in these kind of events. So what we do is 40 different types of classes, 40 different types of training. We just did a competition the other night called Saving Cheryl She Shed. The next one coming up is the zombie match because of Halloween. So we want to teach you how to do this. We want to show you. It covers the class, it covers the targets, the instructors, the range fees, but also what we want to get down to business is with any kind of defensive class, whether it be pistol, rifle, shotgun, we do that class. The next step, we do concealed weapon permits classes, of course, but the next step involved in that is how to actually carry a firearm.
Yeah.
That's the newest class that we have coming out, and a defensive concealed weapons carry class. How to protect yourself in an event of something that really comes along. How to make sure your firearm is not taken away from you when someone grabs it. Those are key things for people that really don't know how to carry. You know, they get their concealed weapon permit, like you teach concealed weapon permit. They get that, and then they just don't do anything about it, or they just buy a gun and watch a YouTube video and they carry a firearm.
Or they carry it the wrong way and shoot themselves or someone else.
I've seen so many videos like that, and that scares me.
Yeah.
You have to get training for this kind of stuff. If you're going to carry a firearm, make sure you have some kind of training. Make sure you go somewhere. Jim teaches it. I teach it. We teach it at the store. We have 40 different types of classes. So if you're into firearms, if you want to learn how to shoot a firearm correctly, safely, accurately, or very fast, or competition shooting, come out and see us. We're at Florida Firearms Academy, 13317 West Hillsborough Avenue in Tampa, right in between West Chase and the flea market there.
Yeah, online at ffatampa.com, FFA, Florida Firearms Academy, so ffatampa.com. Now, Thomas, and if you just joined us, Brandon Rhymes here, I'm your host. We're talking with Thomas King, a longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, a consumer advocate. The staff is very well educated. Talk a little bit about your staff, Thomas.
So basically we have about 14 to 18 different instructors, and we all instruct with each other. So we want to be that next level instructor. We see the scary thing is there's people out there still teaching old school training, and like people are still teaching tap, rack, bang. And what that is, if you have a malfunction on your firearm, you tap the bottom of it, the magazine, to make sure it's up, you rack it to clear the slide in the chamber, and then you go bang. Well, that's a horrible situation, and we've never taught that. People are still teaching this, and because
why is that wrong?
There was a sheriff or was a police officer out in an event of a shooting, and this guy was shooting at him, and the sheriff had a malfunction while he was shooting, and he did tap, rack, and when he went bang, the guy had already put his gun down and his hands were in the air, and it was videoed, so they got sued for that. The guy already surrendered. When we teach tap, rack, reassess. We want to make sure, and you make sure your eyes are never off your target. If you're having to look at where you need to reload your firearm, well, then you just took your eyes off the target that's shooting at you or where he just ran to. That's very bad information. So make sure you're with a reputable trainer that teaches new technology and how to do defense and how to do competition shooting. When you're getting training from someone that's doing old school stuff, it's been outdated and is probably going to be an issue for you.
And another big point is that a lot of the folks that are instructors and staff at your Florida Firearms Academy location on Hillsborough, they're former military, they're former police, they're former sheriff deputies, and they know what a lot of consumers don't actually hear about.
Well, they've gone through the situation, and not only that, like this young man that we're sponsoring right here for this event, this happens all the time. This is our neighbor this happened to. He's wrestling with a guy, and a guy shot him.
Wow.
We hear this all the time from crazy people out there that come into our store and they say, hey, look, I have to buy a firearm. I need to get training. Someone kicked my door in last night, and they ran through my house while I was there. Or some crazy, even worse, they got knocked out by somebody in their own home. They stole their stuff. That's why you need that insurance, of course, right?
Yep, tied them up and all kinds of. You told me that story about somebody getting
about
tied
the
up.
jewelry dealer. Yeah, that was insane. They beat his girlfriend, tied him up, and
like a Hollywood movie. I mean, it literally, it's like a Hollywood movie.
We're going to run you through the situation. If you're looking for the firearm, we want you to get the concealed weapon permit. We want you to get the basic pistol class. We want you to get a firearm that actually works correctly, and then we also want to make sure you have the training that's going to help.
Absolutely. Check them out online. Thomas King, Florida Firearms Academy, FFATampa.com. More from Thomas coming up in our lightning round. And also Jim Howard coming up next here. Trinity Security Allies here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we want to help you win in any marketplace. That's our number one goal. Follow us online at Brandon Brimes1 on Instagram and Twitter. The Consumer Quarterback Show page is out there on Facebook as well. And online at consumerqb.com. We'll be right back after this short timeout. Don't go anywhere.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by Trulieve on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm a top real estate agent in the area as well, top 1% realtor in the United States, helping our sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate properties. And we're powered by Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in your real estate negotiations, helping buyers make offers that are competitive yet not overpriced. We're seeing a lot of sellers overpricing properties right now, so you've got to be diligent in that process. Buying, selling, or investing, we would love to talk to you. My wife and I own and operate the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, and we want to help you win in your negotiations. Just featured in Real Producer magazine as well for October. Just came out. This issue just came out. So Brandon Rhymes, an MVP driven to score for others. Pretty cool photography shoot and just a write-up that they did. I got to talk about the Anthony Robbins business mastery and some of the things that really kind of stand out as you look back over your career, 20 plus years in real estate and mortgage. You look back and you say, hey, these are things that have helped me get to this point. And of course, our radio TV show is growing. We got over 80 categories of consumer advocate content here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and I want to urge you to reach out. We would love to hear from you, comments, questions, concerns from the show, and think of us as the super connector here in the Tampa Bay area, kind of like that quarterback. You know, the best games in the NFL colleges when that quarterback spreads the ball out. He's got 18 different receivers involved, running backs, tight ends, wide receivers, all types of plays. So that's what we want you to think about this show. Is it's a metaphor for being your consumer advocate. So each one of our expert contributors represent another one of those spokes on that financial, that business wheel, that health wheel, that self-defense wheel. Each one of those spokes extending out, representing another one of our preferred partners, our on-air expert contributors. So it's up to you to engage and ask for the advice, ask for the help. And it may not be for you. It may be for a loved one. I had several calls this past week and people looking out, hey, what's the short sale? What's my options here? How can I improve my credit? What about my tax returns? Do I need to file them? All these different questions that you have. That's why we set this show up over 6 years ago. So reach out to us on our hotline, 813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline number. And sometimes when I call that audible, we got Peyton Manning helping us with that audible, 813-670-7372. And check out our website, of course, consumerqb.com, consumerqb.com. And stay tuned for a big TV show that we're planning with Warwick Dunn coming up very soon. So we can't release details on that, but we got Warwick Dunn going to be back with us on the Consumer Quarterback Show here and the American Dream Television Show. So very cool stuff happening around the show. Follow us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter, and we would love to connect. Great lineup today. We got Doug Levi in the house, Strategic Insurance, Thomas King, Florida Firearms Academy, and Jim Howard as well, representing Trinity Security Allies here in studio. This segment is brought to you by Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. That's Brothers Easy Moving. And I can tell you from firsthand experience that they are a first-class organization. They do a great job, whether you're planning a local or long-distance move. Reach out to Brothers Easy Moving. Give Gary Thacker a call. He's the owner, and he's a friend of mine. Let him know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take him up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we're back here in studio. Jim Howard in the house. Trinity Security Allies. Give us a little overview. Security Allies.
Okay. Well, we started this ministry back in 2015, October 2015, and what our ministry is just going around and educating churches on how to protect themselves or have an emergency action plan. And when we go into these churches, we talk to them not all about active shooter, but what would they do if they had a lost child, a medical emergency, all the disruptive attendee, domestic violence. So it's a whole gamut of things, and of course we do talk about the active shooter aspect of it because that's what's in the headlines all the time.
Yeah.
You don't hear about the other stuff that's going on in the background, like the vandalisms or a child being lost, child being left in their vehicle. These type of things happen on church property. So we're out there educating those in the churches in reference to this type of scenarios or incidents. It's kind of, I got to do a little history real quick because how Thomas King and I got together, I think is something that's very important here. Because when we started in October 2015, one of the first things that we realized, because we're a 501c3, my wife and I are putting the money in ourselves to get this ministry up and running. And we were talking about having some sort of fundraiser. So the first thing I thought about, because it was November coming up, was let's have a turkey shoot. And so the Florida Firearms Academy that was located on 19, we contacted them on the phone, and they said, oh, our November Saturdays are just booked. And the next thing you know, they said, what weekend do you want? And we said, like the 19th, and they said, oh, it happens to be open. So we started with them. We had 3 there. And then when the hurricane came through and kind of tore up the shop, Thomas contacted us and said, hey, why don't you have it at our place on Hillsborough Avenue? So, a lot of times people kind of look at it and go, wait, you're a church safety, organization, but yet you're talking about firearms? Well, that's a very important part of it. When we, Thomas and I are eye to eye on how we protect the flock, but also you have to understand, you just can't be a cowboy out here just pulling your gun and shooting.
Exactly.
And so some of the classes that he's offered, we've come out and taken them because it hones our skills, when we're doing it. Yep. I am also a firearms instructor, not only private, but I also teach at the police academy out in St. Pete. So I see a lot of stuff that people just don't realize, and these are things that we work with them all the time. But we've been all over the country. I've been all the way up as far as Chicago doing this training, down as far south as Miami Beach. God's been good to us. Like I said, we've got this coming up. I think he did this like that. We've got this coming up in November the 16th between 11 and 3. We shoot at paper targets, so no turkey is hurt in this excursion, And we have a winner every hour, and they get a $25 gift certificate to usually Publix. That's what we try to do, so they can go buy their turkey. So that you can go buy, some food or the beer that like this guy did, for his stuff. But we work real hard. We work a lot with local churches and do things like networking, where we share information of what's going on. It would surprise you at what happens at churches. Yeah. And if it happens at one church, it normally bleeds over to another church. Yeah. So we do all this networking.
Do you see like scams happening too? Like different people coming in and
I've got 2 scams going on right now. We have a guy that goes, it's really funny. One of the churches we work with contacted me and said, hey, we had this guy show up, and he said he needed money for gas to get to West Virginia. Right. So they took him over to a gas station with a charge card. They're filling up the gas tank for him, and then he looks at the guy that's there from the church and says, now I need money from you. And the guy says, well, I don't have any money, and you just kind of need to leave. We gave you this. Wow. So they shot me over a picture of this guy and his truck. They were smart enough to do that. They took a picture of it. This is part of our training, what we train. And they sent it over to me, and I was sitting with another Christian brother, and I was telling him the story, and he looks at me and he goes, was this guy from going to West Virginia? And I went, yeah. And he goes, he got me too. Same story. Same story. I'm going to this job in West Virginia. So there's scams all over the place. And, disruptive attendees, people threatening the churches, the vandalisms inside. It's just sad of what goes on. So we go in. If they don't have a safety team, if they do have a safety team, we teach different classes. We teach classes on how to set one up. We teach classes on what we call threat profiling, and that's looking at the people that are coming in your door on Sunday. So you automatically are starting to size them up because of things that we've taught you, what to look for. The classic one everybody talks about is, wearing a heavy overcoat in the summertime here in Florida. You shouldn't be wearing that. But there's other things that you can look at, physical, anomalies that happen that you can pay attention to that people just don't understand.
Let me reset here, and then I'm going to ask you what those are. Jim Howard here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Trinity Security Allies, online at trinitysecurityallies.com. And I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. So can you give us some more examples? Maybe this is a great consumer advocate tip here.
Well, a lot of people don't understand, and you can start to do this right now. Start talking about proxemics, and that's where somebody pushes off of somebody that makes them feel uncomfortable. If you're standing talking to somebody, a lot of times you may step into their space and they move away from you. And so they kind of move away from you. But if you're standing there talking to somebody, and all of a sudden you realize, especially like your pastor, that's the one that we use the most. Your pastor takes a step back. Something was said just then that caused him to move away from this guy. Something that just of a concern. Watch it with women and men that they've never met before. That's a really big one. We see it all the time. Next time you go to a restaurant, watch a couple that's real close in, talking to each other. They're all intimate and all of a sudden like that. And then all of a sudden she sits up straight as a board, moves away from him. She just asked the question, does my sister look better in that dress? And he said yes. So she gets mad and sits up. So, these are things that we teach. We teach things called I can't even say it now.
At risk or
no, I'll get it here in a second.
Yeah.
But when you're in a situation and everybody's talking, and then all of a sudden you just hear this dead silence.
Yeah.
What just happened? Your atmospherics changed.
Somebody dropped a bomb.
Somebody, a person sitting over in the corner is crying. An intoxicated person walks into the restaurant or the bar.
Yep.
You can start playing these at home, and this is techniques that we teach that also help you out in the public when you're out and about. We also teach verbal de-escalation, where how to talk to a person. And what's really funny is when we teach this class, I was a crisis negotiator, so we're using some of the training that I have done. And so when we teach this class, we also teach it as a marriage counseling class, because the first thing that you need to do is be able to do active listening. And so we teach the husbands and the wives from now on, when you practice this, because you're going to practice this all the time, active listening is the first thing.
I love that. You touched on a good one. We had former FBI lead international hostage negotiator Chris Voss. I don't know if you remember that
I've heard the name. Yes,
yeah,
I've
Chris
read some
Voss,
of his,
Never Split the Difference, his book, and I teach a lot of what he taught. Kind of based on his book, Never Split the Difference.
Right.
And you're right on point when you talk about de-escalation. Just the simple fact of labeling someone's emotions or how they're acting. It seems like, it looks like, it feels like, it sounds like, that in their brain, the reptilian side of their brain, it shifts over to the more logical side. Right. And now they have to, in their mind, justify. Yeah, they have to think about it, right? It's about making them think about it.
Well, and going to that, you also talk about empathy, which what might not seem like a real problem to you is a very real problem to them.
Yeah.
So if you don't try to put yourself in their position, you've lost them. You might as well just forget about it.
Big time.
And so, like I said, that's one of the classes we also teach. We teach Stop the Bleed. We have medical teams, members that come in and help with us as far as the medical end of it, because you're going to have more medical emergencies at your church than you're going to have anything else.
Yeah.
So this is we just teach the whole gamut of what to look for when you're in a church,
well,
just to protect
a lot more
the
to
flock.
talk about. I'm sure we got to get going to the next segment, but that's a great reach out online. Trinity Security Allies, so much more that we could cover with Jim Howard here in studio. Also Thomas King in the house, Doug Levi coming up in our lightning round, and our feel good story of the day is a good one. You got the college football fans beer sign that raises more than $1 million for Children's Hospital. Stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we'll be right back after this short break. Check out consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. Ian Beckles that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in your real estate deals, negotiating, buying, selling, or investing. We would love to talk to you. And we are back here in studio. We've got an all-star lineup for you today. Doug Levi is in the house, Strategic Insurance, Thomas King, Florida Firearms Academy, and Jim Howard, Trinity Security Allies here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. This segment is brought to you by the Bilmar Beach Resort on beautiful Gulf Boulevard in Treasure Island, our official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And as hotels go on the beach, none say 90% of the rooms overlook the beach, and this one does. It's awesome. Newly renovated, variety of rooms for solo travelers, couples, and families. They include 55-inch high-definition flat-screen TVs, comfy beds, and a full suite of kitchen options as well. Check them out online, BilmarBeachResort.com. Book directly, not one of those online engines. You're not getting the best deal there, although you think that's the deal, but you get it directly. Give Clyde Smith the call, the general manager. He's a friend of ours. Let him know that the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take him up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. The Bilmar Beach Resort on beautiful Treasure Island, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, every day we're going to tell you something positive in our feel-good story of the day. We got a good one for you here in our Tell Me Something Good.
Tell me something good.
All right, so the college football fans beer sign raises more than $1 million for Children's Hospital. So a college fan was just asking for beer money as a joke, but ended up raising more than $1 million for local Children's Hospital. Carson King, 24, went viral for his homemade sign asking viewers of ESPN's College Game Day to donate to his Venmo account so he could afford to buy more beer. His phone immediately blew up with notifications from Venmo. Within 30 minutes, King raised over $400. He decided that minus the cost of one case, he'd donate the rest of the money to the University of Iowa Stead Families Children's Hospital. As the word spread of his plans to donate the money, more people decided to contribute. Stead Family Children's Hospital said they were overwhelmed by King's generosity and the generosity of all donors who pledged their support. A couple of tweets here from Carson King. He says, we just reached $1 million in total contributions. And he says, let's go. We're not done yet. And he tagged them in the post. What do you think? And the UI Stead Families Children's Hospital replied, we can't think. Our minds are blown from all this. Thank you to everyone who helped us reach this milestone. We are so grateful. So pretty cool story there in our feel-good story of the day. I love those Tell Me Something Good segments. Those are fun. All right, now we're going to jump into our lightning round here.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning rounds.
All right, we're going to get top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. You're up first, Doug.
I'll tie right into that. And I was going to say, I know a lot of times at the end of the show you encourage random acts of kindness. So sharing from the master teacher, Jesus, love your neighbor as yourself, right? So we're talking a lot today about firearms and protection and different things. But when's the last time you've checked in on maybe that elderly person on your block that's kind of a little bit of a shut-in and just stop down with some cookies or brownies or just let them know you're there and thinking about them. So,
good point.
Always just think about your neighbors and love them as yourself.
I like that. That's awesome, man. Good stuff. Thomas King, Florida Firearms.
Anybody who raises $1 million and gives it to the kids is good in my book. That's an
right.
Amazing story.
Yeah, man.
We are Florida Firearms, Kevin. We're an indoor shooting range. If you're military, law enforcement, first responder, veteran, you get 1050 unlimited range time. That's a whole day pass, or it's $14.95 if you're not, and that's a whole day pass. And we have all the ammo, anything you want there, but basically we're a full armory. We custom build firearms, we clean them, we fix them, we repair them, and we're a firearms store. We're also a full academy. We have 40 different types of classes open to the public, and that's for you to train to get better and better and better with it. So we are also a firearms store. We have everything with firearms to rifles, pistols, shotguns, ammo, bags, red dots, whatever you need. Come look us up. We're at ffatampa.com.
Awesome. Well done. Jim Howard, Trinity Security Allies.
Yeah, I just kind of want to go back. I mean, Thomas is the one that invited me to this, and I really appreciate it. So I just want to throw something back at him. When we go into these churches and these people want to carry firearms, one of the things that we talk about is make this a ministry and go find classes like that are offered at Florida Firearms Academy and go in as a team and just have some good fun. We went last year and did the zombie shoot, And it's just 3 of us that went out there, but we had a really good time. Plus, it homes it helps you with, your firearms. What these people don't realize and what they have to understand, the classes that they're teaching, the classes that we teach when we talk about this, is you cannot just pull a gun and start using it. That's just
absolutely.
We're seeing more and more in law enforcement, we're seeing death by friendly fire. The New York shooting that just happened is coming out that it was by friendly fire.
Oh, man.
So if you don't know what's going on, these are type of classes that you need to go to. We go to them and have a good time, and you make it as a ministry. Group of guys get together and go out and just have a good time. And so I just want to say that for Thomas.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, and we talked about in the show too before, where sometimes it's an undercover security officer or FBI. You never know, So when you just walk into a situation, if you don't know for 100% sure what's happening, the advice would be just withdraw. Right, just withdraw, find out, call the sheriff's department, find out what is actually happening, and because there's so many scenarios that could play out.
Absolutely.
My cousin's sheriff down in Hendry County, so I've heard stuff on that side as well. So today I wanted to use my time in the lightning round to talk about one of the best principles of business, and if you're in sales especially, this is important for you. In 1895, a gentleman by the name of Wilfredo Pareto invented what is well known as the 80-20 rule, as well as the Pareto's principle, and it's pretty interesting when you look at the way that this came about. He noticed that 20% of the owners owned about 80% of the land, and that's translates through all types of business, and whether you're talking about leads, if you're in sales. And here's an interesting fact: if you want to calculate your hourly, if some people say, hey, I want to make $100,000 per year, how do you calculate your hourly rate? And it helps you stay focused on what you're actually doing, right? So if you divide 100,000 divided by 2,000 hours, that's your average work week per year, work time per year. That equals $50 per hour. So the way to get there, if you're not there, is to focus on the vital few. And I know there's a lot of salespeople out there that are kind of struggling. It's tough when you're in sales. You get those no's, you get doors shut in your face. Focus on your vital few. What are those few things that you can do? If you wrote down 8 to 10 things and you said, hey, these are the things I'm doing on a daily basis, what are those top 2 or 3 that are going to contribute to your success, your next deal, your next application taken? Focus on those. Eliminate the time wasters and dive into personal development head first. That's what you want to do. You want to look at first thing in the morning, controlling the spirit of your day. Listen to something that's encouraging. Listen to some things that are going to help you live a better life and avoid a lot of the negativity out there in the community. Follow up. It's all about the follow-up, quality conversations as well, and leverage your time. So Pareto principle is one of my favorites as well. We got time enough for another round here, Doug. You got any other tips
Sounds great.
for us?
Yeah, just protection review. It's important.
Yep.
People on average, it says the average American family spends about 11% of their budget on insurance, especially when you add in medical costs or medical care. So people spend a lot of money on it. Hit us up for a protection review, tampabayinsurance.com, or you can reach out to the show here, and we'll be happy to make sure you're getting the best coverage and rates.
What about the coverage that we mentioned between one of the breaks?
Yeah, so it's one Jim mentioned, active shooter insurance. It's sad that some of this stuff comes up, but one of the things now, and this is more for business owners, that's really more a business owner thing, but let's say I'm a business owner and that something happens on my property at my business, sometimes a shooting would not necessarily always be covered. Again, you got to read your policy and see what all the exclusions would be, but they've now come up with a separate policy called active shooter insurance, especially maybe I'm in a business complex or something, I have a pretty good sized business, it may be something to reach out to us on, and we can certainly get you the details on that.
All right, Thomas King, give us some more tips.
Wow, I didn't know they had that.
Yeah.
Basically, 46 kids every day in the U.S. go missing. That's 17,000 kids a year that go missing, which is an incredible amount of kids. And what I would suggest, if you are going to do everything and anything for your protection for your family, you are the first responder in any event. Make sure you protect your kids, whether it be with a firearm, whether it be with karate, jiu-jitsu, or some kind of training. Take a class with Jim here too. Go out to his events. Make sure you understand how to avoid these kinds of conflicts.
That's right. And we have our launch party coming up on the 10th, Thursday, October 10th, 6:30 p.m. We're launching our new AM 860 The Answer spot right here at 4 o'clock drive time. Come on out. It's going to be at Florida Firearms Academy, and it's going to be a great time. 13317 West Hillsborough Avenue in Tampa, and it's October 10th, which is a Thursday evening. We're going to have food, open bar, special guest speakers. It's going to be a great time. We're actually going to be filming our TV show there, one of our TV shows, the American Dream television show. So that's going to be great. Great networking opportunities to meet. A lot of our expert contributors will be there as well. So all of our listeners, our viewers out there of our TV show, we want to invite you out there. We also want to invite you as well to commit a random act of kindness and do something kind for one another. So many ways that you can get involved with the community. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check us out online, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show.